Good morning, Julie.
This is Jeff Small with the Circuit Court of the City of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and we're sitting down to discuss some future plans for the City of Fredericksburg and also to discuss some topics with e-recording. Good. So, Jeff, let's get started. What are your future plans in regards to archiving documents in the City of Fredericksburg?
Thanks for coming out this morning, Julie. Annie and I appreciate it. Your listeners and viewers that see this, when they go to the article, they'll probably get to see great pictures of Annie, our deputy canine clerk, the first ever canine clerk in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And Annie and I have big plans for our archives and our records room. And to tell you a little bit about what we'd like to do, we'd like to continue in the future the matching grants we get with Library of Virginia. The Library of Virginia, twice a year, you can apply for a matching grant, and they'll allow you to take old records you have, old books that are becoming unbound, that the pages are in terrible condition, whether it's water stains, mold, or just wear and tear. They'll let you send those out to private vendors. We use C.W. Wortham, which was bought by, I think, CoFile, but still does a great job, Greg Brooks and his family. They'll come and get the book, and they'll send it out, and they'll have the book restored, give us back the restored book along with a CD that has all the images. So that way we can upload it and people can look at the digital images without messing with the book. And then when people want to see the original, we're happy to show it to them. We have an archivist named Travis, and Julie, you know Travis very well. And Travis will get the book out and he'll help them handle it so that people can still see the original. I think that's important that people see the original as long as we can allow them access to that as opposed to just the digital. I do imagine there'll probably come a time where these originals could be so brittle and so fragile. I hate to compare it to the Mona Lisa, but that it might have to be locked away, and the digital image is what people are going to have to view. But about the grant, the City of Fredericksburg, I've got to give them credit. We've got a really good group of council, and we've got a very good city manager. The City of Fredericksburg is fortunate in that the city funds an archivist. That's Travis's job, Travis Walker. And that's not a state comp board position, and the comp board is the organization in Richmond, the government organization that funds clerk's offices. And based on our workload, they will give us X amount of positions to fund an office. An archivist is not one of them. But the council and the city management in Fredericksburg, you know, they understand the importance and the relevance of these historic records we have. So they've created a position of archivist and allow Travis to come in here and work so hard to maintain these records and preserve these records.
What kind of historical documents does the City of Fredericksburg Land Records archive?
Julie, we've got the coolest records. So anything pre-1912 or 1912 and earlier is considered an archive. And those records, you can image them, you can make them into digital file, but you can never destroy them. And not only can you never destroy them, but they're so old that they need preservation, they need care, they need maintenance. And that's what Travis and his group of volunteers, he's got Dr. Stanton and Bobby that come in 20 to 30 hours a week on their own time, and they help Travis. And we've got documents from James Monroe, we've got documents from letter from George Washington to our city council. That was a fun one. We see, I saw the other month, John Adams filed a lawsuit on behalf of a client of his in the Fredericksburg. So you see on this little slip of paper, because they didn't have typewriters or computers or word processors back then, there was this little slip of paper, and he hand wrote in the most beautiful calligraphy who his client was, who he wanted to sue, and for how much. And then you turn it over, and it says, you know, the lawyer John Adams. And that was really great to see. A conversation me and Travis had yesterday, and he's going to try to find for me. It blew my mind when he told me that in the 1700s and the 1800s, there's court orders of judges ordering people to hang. And I mean, you see it on TV, you read about it in books, but you never think that it happened on the streets we live in. So Travis says he's seen a couple of those orders over the years, and he's going to try to find one. And I just want to see how it's written, because that's a part of American history that you never really have in your hand, that you never really can put your fingers on. And so that's going to be personally very interesting to me to read.
Yeah, and you also mentioned that you have some documents from James Madison.
We do, yeah.
That's on my old alma mater.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we've got it seems like almost all our founding fathers of our country, when you go back, for one reason or another, whether it was a lawsuit, whether it was a merchant's record, whether it was a slave record, they all came through Fredericksburg. I mean, Fredericksburg was the epicenter of the colonies at one point.
Cool. That's great. So what can you do to get more grant funding?
So we maximize what we can get through the state. The Library of Virginia has that matching grant, like I said, and the city has to match what the library puts up. So if the grant is for $12,000, the Library of Virginia has $6,000. The city will put in $6,000. We'll get the book restored. We actually have 2 representatives from the Supreme Court of Virginia here this week, and they're helping us do an overall office assessment. But when they went in and talked to Travis about the archives, they were as fascinated as I was, as basically everyone is that learns what we're doing in here. And they're going to try to help find us federal money. They're not exactly sure where, but they want to say in their travels they've heard that there's federal grants that we might be able to apply for, because these historians, George Washington, James Madison, these guys are Virginians, but they're also national heroes, national historic founding fathers. So hopefully we can get some federal money, and we can even do more in there.
That's wonderful. Could we take a tour, just a brief tour of the archive room and meet Travis?
Sure, absolutely.
And his team?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just walk.
Okay. Kristen, you want to be on the video? Okay.
Hopefully he's here.
We've got the whole crew here today.
Hi, Travis.
Oh, hello.
That's Travis Walker. He's our archivist.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I see you every day.
And to our left and Travis's right is Bobby. And Bobby has been coming in and helping us in the archives for how many years, Bobby? For 20 years.
I think that in the last article with Barry McGee, we had a picture of you where you found a falcon. There was a falcon drawing on one of the articles that indicate that was a historic document. Anyway, I think you were in one of our pictures. Yeah, that's right.
And then in front of us is Dr. Stanton. Dr. Stanton's a retired University of Mary Washington professor, and he comes in, and between the work of these 3, I think we've got the best archive in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
That's right. It takes a lot to save all these documents.
One more thing, Julie, I'd like to show you. If Travis, do you have your key card? I'd like to show them the lab where you guys work to restore a lot of these documents. And briefly, if you could show us. So this is our lab, and it's climate controlled, humidity controlled, and Travis is outfitted with the tools. And Travis, can you just briefly explain what you're able to do in here?
Yeah. We're able to take documents that were folded in the past, humidify them, safely flatten them, and repair them to conserve the documents. So this gives us the space that we need back here to do that process. The documents you see here have been already been flattened, but they have to set and acclimate for a given period of time before we're able to repair them. And we also have restricted access back here in the lab. These would be documents that are too rare to allow the public to walk out of the front door with. Documents signed by James Monroe, James Madison, John Quincy Adams. Of course, we have our crown jewels here. This is the will of George Washington's mother, Mary Washington. And that's actually in her handwriting there.
Great.
And then
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's in really good condition too. A lot of attention's been paid to that one. When George Washington retired his commission in the Continental Army, the city of Fredericksburg wrote a letter to George congratulating him on his achievements, and this is the letter that George wrote back to the Fredericksburg City Council.
Oh, neat.
So, George Washington document. We frequently come across documents that that have been signed or deal with George Washington's brothers, Samuel Washington, Charles Washington. So we come across those quite frequently.
How many documents do you have you actually archived? And these include not only land records, but law and chancery?
Civil and chancery suits, 27,000 individual court records, and we continue every day. So,
Right.
Yeah, we're constantly processing new material. So
It's exciting.